Well, there she is, 20 feet in length, 19.6, 50 inches, and about 600 pounds in material. Welcome back to the channel. So today I'm going to be installing the Ghost Control battery powered solar charged gate opener. Let's get to it. Okay, so let's see how I did. Oh, that's beautiful. Love it. I'm going to attach a piece of bar right here on the bottom side of the gate. So I'll be using some of this 1x4 16 gauge steel, and I'm just going to tack weld it onto the bottom of the gate, and then I will weld this to this piece of steel, and then of course attaching this for its final location. I'm gonna have to clean it up a little bit. Oh, what's that? Yeah, overall, it'll work. It'll be just fine. It's nice and solid, which is exactly what I want. Okay, so that turned out pretty well. Everything's nice and even. And that is why I slightly overcut these holes so that I'd have a little bit of wiggle room. So now you can see the idea is for it to land right here. So I'll weld an L bracket here that will hold the latch piece right there. And then be running this wire all across here somehow. Bought a whole pack of these concrete bolts to do this entire project, and I didn't think I'd use all of them, but I'm just gonna get a little ridiculous and use all 4 of these to hold this plate onto the block wall. All right, so my first problem, if you look right there, the side, this right here is hitting right here. It's hitting right in here. So I'm gonna have to get a grinder and cut that out a little bit. Had a little notch in there. And then it should close just fine. So I actually chose to go with my own lead-sealed battery. I wanted double the ampacity output. I knew that this could potentially be demanding more power draw on the batteries, and I didn't want to order two separate batteries and wire them up in parallel. And rather than going with Ghost Control's solar kit, I decided to order my own 30 amp solar panel that came with its own MPPT charge controller, and it has indicators on it that let you know what your battery status is. So the installation of this really is pretty straightforward. Everything is labeled for you, and the quick guide instructions are very simple to follow. You can see here the lock controls. You have a positive, a negative, and then an S for signal wire. And then with the gate motor, you have a red, black, green, and white. And I'm sure those are the limiter, those are the wires for the set point on the limiter switch inside the motor. Second operator there for if you have dual swinging gates. And then the hardwired input could be if you want to have a service button here on the side like this one. Although I'm not going to be doing that because I actually installed a wireless security keypad here that will operate the gate. So just real quick before I show you the final product, I want to run over a couple other things that I had to do while installing the Ghost Control's gate opener. On the lock portion of things here, I did have to trim the bolts down here inside of the latch housing, and that's because the depth of the top of the zombie lock was going in too far and hitting them. For the wiring, I just ran it along the bottom of the gate here using some rubber coated screw clamps. Luckily there was about 25 feet of wire, so it ended up being just enough to get me all the way back to my control box here. So for opening the gate, rather than installing a motion sensor in the ground, I chose to purchase two of the keypads to keep in my vehicle. I have not tried to actually connect these to the garage door opener button on my visor on either one of my vehicles yet, but I have heard that it works on some vehicles. So with it just being us for now on the property, this will be plenty for opening and closing the gate as we come and go. Eventually, I will be installing a doorbell button switch here that will be on a remote transmitter. and that relay will hardwire into the hardwire option on the control panel. That'll make it easier for our guests to come and go as they please without having to give them an actual transmitter. It actually handles the gate pretty well, doesn't struggle much. That is the auto close that I have set after 20 seconds. Again, the instructions are very easy to follow inside of the manual. So there's not much I can do about the bounce. I could install some sort of spring on the block wall, I guess, but you can adjust the open and close limits on the gate while you're setting it up. And that's pretty simple to do using the jog open and jog close buttons inside of the actual control panel. I will admit it's not real windy here right now. That could affect the way this closes and opens. You can also adjust the forced close. I'm not really sure how it works, but there are times that when the gate closes, if it does slam too hard into the locking bracket, the motor will tend to think that it has hit something, and after 5 seconds of trying to close, it will open back up about 6 feet. Well, thanks for watching. Hope you liked the video. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, do those things. We've got more great content coming your way.